right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, day traders, closet swing traders, what is happening? My name is DJ Dan with Real Life Trading. Hope you guys are having so far a fantastic morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Hope you guys are absolutely crushing it. This is the pre-market show. So we do have the first 30 minutes of the trading going live on YouTube, so you guys can check that out. We'll just kind of dive into the markets a little bit, see where we're at. And then at 9 a.m. or I'm sorry, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, we will switch over to close down the live YouTube and just kind of trade amongst the real life trading platforms and things like that. But for anybody that's brand new to real life trading, welcome. If I can see the comments in the chat for YouTube. So if you guys want me to check out any tickers, any stocks, any markets, have questions in general, definitely feel free to use that. Smash that like button. We want to see some likes come in on the morning show today. So let's start with the SPY just to get an idea of where we are at for today. Right now, it's a little bit on the weaker side, just a tad, but honestly, we're just pretty much where we closed. So not too much difference. I mean, we're off by a few pennies of where we closed. So even though we had a little bit of a sell-off after hours, I believe we had some good numbers coming in today as far as was it unemployment? I believe unemployment came in today, and that just kind of pushed us up a little bit, but very flat. Market is very high in general. So we'll see what we can do with that. We'll check out Qs, and then I see some comments in for AT&T and Roku. So check out the Qs real quick. Again, it's showing a little bit of weakness compared to just the close of yesterday, but realistically, again, we're just in yesterday's range. Until we start to break out on the Qs, maybe break down like 392 and change, something like that. 393, it looks like. So if we start to break down to 393, we could see a little bit bigger of a sell-off. Right now, probably at open, we're just going to chop around a little bit for both SPY and Qs. I don't see any big move. Good morning, Christine. How are you? Christine, in the chat pane, just switch it to everyone as opposed to just host and panelist. But good morning. So we have somebody in YouTube asking for T. They did have, I believe they have a little news catalyst behind them, so you might see a little bit of a move. They were looking good pre-market. Okay, so they're back up here as well. So this I don't even know if this is a real tick on the screen as far as this big red candle that came in, but they are partnering with NVIDIA. They're offering, I believe it's like 6 months or 90 days or something like that. So free NVIDIA type stuff. If you are interested in AT&T, so I own AT&T as just a disclaimer. I do own it. It's in the long term. I don't plan on selling it for 10 years. I'm going to collect the dividends. I got the drip in the system. I almost bought it for my monthly deposit down here. Almost did. And I just wanted it like $1 lower and just never happened, but that's okay. The news itself, I think, is going to be more of a fad. I don't think it has anything to do longer term with AT&T. But that being said, you could get some kind of momentum. It's a very slow moving, very blue chippy stock. Just how I mentioned, I have it in the long term. A lot of mutual funds have it. A lot of like 401k type setup companies have it in the long term. It's not going to move, in my opinion, that crazy. We do have a little double bottom on the daily. That looks good. A little pullback here. This could be some type of a wave 1, 2. This could be the beginning of some type of a wave 3, possibly looking for like a $27. I don't even think we get that today, though. That's a large move for AT&T. So I just don't know if the volume's there for a day trade purpose, but I do like it long term. I do like the dividend behind it. You're going to get the free shares with the drip. So I don't mind that at all. Roku, but it's a very boring company. So just, I mean, it's either buy some AT&T or stare at some paint drying, because it's going to be the same effect no matter what you do with that. It's not going to be too pleasant. There's no excitement. It's not like trading Tesla for sure. This one is, so we do have a little bit of a sell-off yesterday on Roku. I believe, yeah, there was this one does have a news catalyst with it as well, where I think they got a downgrade, if I'm not mistaken, from a capital firm. This one, honestly, Roku a little bit longer term could break down further. We are roughly at the 618 on a Fibonacci. So on a Fibonacci basis, this is not a bad spot for Roku. We do have the news catalyst today, but it is a retest gap. So at open, if you're looking to play Roku, I would actually be looking to probably try to find a bullish setup on this one, play the retrace back into like the 217 zone, 218, 217, somewhere in that zone as a day trade. Just because you do have that retest, you're at some kind of a decent support. And in a longer term picture, we are at a 618 right now. So it's not a bad spot. I would personally give Roku a little bit more time just before we start jumping into it in a bullish direction. But as a day trade, at open, I'd probably be looking a little bit more bullish, maybe wait for that initial first red candle to come in and try to take a breakout over it. But that's how I would look to play Roku. Rock says, was it Rock that said Beyond Das Meat? Yep. So Beyond Meat has a catalyst today. This one looks interesting. I got to check out the short float on this one, but they partnered with KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. They are making meatless chicken just based on how just based on how KFC is already kind of, I'm not a big fan of KFC, to be honest. I don't know what it is. And then I'm also personally not a big fan of Beyond Meat. So it's like two companies that I'm just like, I don't really care about too much partnering. It is good news for Beyond Meat, but I really think they're really catering to the COVID patient crowd that can't taste anything. I think that's the market for this one. That's a perfect market for it. Yeah. That being said, I think there's a lot of shorts in here. This one might have a bullish catalyst to it. I do like this gap. It is pushing into a little bit of resistance right now. So we have a little bit of resistance we're pushing into. It is a gap and go. We might be able to shake some of the bulls out. The other thing that's more important, I think, than the partnership with KFC, I think McDonald's in the UK unrolled. I think they unleashed the Beyond products in the UK McDonald's. I think that has a little bit more sustainability than the KFC news does, at least for today. But the numbers for McDonald's could actually show up in their earning report just because they're launching today. The KFC news, I think it's going to take a while for that to really actually generate any type of product. John says meatless chicken doesn't sound good at all. Yeah, I can't argue the logic. I can't. Slowback says, good morning. What a colorful set of charts. Yeah, try to keep those colors lively. One day, I don't have enough time on the pre-market show, but these are all moving averages. I use them more for a TTM squeeze type setup, things like that. But we'll get to that one day when I just got some time. We could go through that if you guys are not familiar. The guys that are here with me all day, they know the colors. So GE Slowback says KFC equals 8-legged chickens. They already got the 8-legged chickens. I think they had that breakthrough already. Wasn't that a big news story at one point? So GE probably could get some kind of continuation. The one thing I would be concerned with, like obviously if you're getting it and it's easier in hindsight, but anywhere in the 94, 95 zone, you're already in it. I'd probably look to stay in it. I think you have roughly to about 101.77. I think that's where our first real resistance starts to come in on GE. So if you're in it, I think fantastic. That looks good. Ford looks good as well. You still might see some kind of continuation of Ford. We're up there. We're close to all-time highs. You are going to start to run into this little resistance. And the green line, just as we were talking about the colors on the chart, the green line is an 89 EMA. I just find that's a very tough. Even yesterday, you can see us trying to break that 89 EMA. And we kind of failed a little bit. So right now we're still below that 89. That's going to act as a pretty strong resistance. If we get through it, Yeah, I like the 101.77 zone, 101.70, somewhere in that range. Uh, and I think we need, so these are some smaller moving averages. I think we need to give this a little bit of time, whether some pullback, just trade sideways for a little bit, just get those moving averages up a little bit so that we have a little bit more power to break through that 89 and then just kind of start continuing that bullish direction. So that's where I would be going on that one. Let's see what other tickers. Krista KK says no taste buds. That's the, I mean, that is the market for the meatless KFC. Neo. Oh, I haven't looked at Neo. Seeing some divergence. So Pete is shouting out Neo in the YouTube chat. Just trying to find the time frame you're on for that divergence. Hourly had a little bit here, and I think we're already starting to pull that back a little bit. This up here, at least for the hourly chart, that was divergence. Otherwise, I don't really see. Let me just flip it over to a daily. This was the channel here. We're just consolidating back and forth. So on a daily, that was definitely the consolidation. This was our breakdown. Anything above probably this pivot would look okay. I do like that volume that came in. This is what, 1, 2, 3, 4 trading days ago. Nice big bullish engulfing candle. So that looks decent as far as the volume that came in right there. So that's definitely one to watch. Anything like if you're going to trade this one, I think it is very tradable. I'd be having some kind of stop right at 27.65. I do not want, if I want to take Neo at all bullish, and they were trading, we talked about this in the room, was it yesterday or Monday? They've been trading, I think, off Tesla's back for a long time. I just don't think the numbers of what Neo produces is anywhere close to the size of Tesla. So I think you're starting to see a little bit of a breakout from Tesla, and this is kind of moving to its own journey at this point. But if I was to take this trade, I would definitely not want this candle to break. So you could get good risk reward on this setup somewhere if you did want to trade it. And if it just continues down and starts breaking those numbers, it is what it is. But I'd even be looking for maybe like a retest of here. So somewhere in like the 29.50 zone, let it come down a little bit further. And it gives you a little bit tight of a setup. So this way you can make a good 2R type trade if that's where it wants to bounce. I'd be looking for a retest right there, though. I don't know that you have to rush into it. Again, it's just it's not going to be as strong, and it's still attached to China, which I think Baba might be having a decent day today. Let me check out Baba. I saw Baba was trending for some reason. Yeah, I mean, they're just inside day. They are down a little bit, but nothing too crazy. I think there's still a little weakness, little uncertainty in anything owns any of the Chinese names. So I don't know that you have to kind of rush into those. Haley says, I missed a firm. Haley, you better have hit that like button. You better smash that like button. In fact, let's take a minute just to smash that like button. I need to be trending. I need to get some algos moving on YouTube. Make sure you guys have done that. We are at a firm chart looking at where this thing could go. Yeah, a firm. I know people were so bullish on a firm for a very long time. Let's see where this uptrend is. Could we still stay above this? That's $74. So we're still technically in an uptrend, and we are just kind of pulling back. This would be a good, decent, somewhere in this area, 72, 73, 74 would be a decent spot to catch like a wick on this one. Again, as a day trade at open, I don't think I'm going to be looking at this one for me personally, just because it's inside day that I don't see any real catalyst on this one as to why this one could actually pop or move today, at least. If we're looking for a little bit longer time, quite honestly, I think it was for me personally, and I'd have to look at the numbers, have to look at the company again, see if there's anything I'm missing in it. I know people like this company. I just don't really, I don't know. For me, I'm just not a fan of it. We're definitely in a shorter term downtrend. Uh, decent, decent little cup. Maybe this could be a handle, but I think that handle kind of fell off a little bit too hard. So I'm not going to throw this into the long term. If this starts showing some daily strength, daily candles, something like that, I'd play the momentum on it. But for me, they still just have a lot to prove. I'm just not a huge fan. That being said, if you are a fan, if you're not me, and you want to add somewhere down at this 75, 74 zone, somewhere in there, that'd be a decent retest to try it at least, and then maybe have some kind of stops at like 45 if you want to play it a little more aggressive, 51, $52, somewhere in that range is some kind of stop. But if it starts breaking underneath those levels, yeah, this one could be in a little bit of a world of hurt. So we'll see. We have Upstart as well. Sophia says, what time frame I'm using? I use both. I use a lot of stuff. So like this one on this chart is a 5 minute. I'm going to look at this more for the small time frames, the 3 minutes, the 5 minutes, the 15 minutes, stuff like that. I'm going to be using more for day trade analysis. But I'm also looking at the daily. So the daily, I want to know where on the chart we are on a daily. So I'm always going to have that daily chart up there. Sometimes I might even flip to a weekly and a longer term if I need it, if this is like a much bigger breakdown. But I want to find out where we are, and then I want to try to find out, okay, what time and what price do I really want to get in on this thing? So I'll use both for the analysis, but day trade, the daily I'm using more for a swing trade. This one looks like it's got some potential on a breakdown. We'll see how this one plays out. If you're in it, I'd probably be looking to buy some puts just in case. If we really start breaking down this last pivot, this does not look good. You really want to see this double bottom hold up. So we have a potential double bottom in Upstart. It's just not confirmed. There's no anything yet that tells me like 100% this is a good spot where it's looking to bounce. So if you have shares of it, I look to do some kind of a put, get some kind of security just in case if this thing breaks down, this could move a lot lower. You did have a little bit more sell-off. We cannot break through that. The red line here is the 8 EMA. The yellow is a 10 EMA. We cannot break through any of those. We gave it our best college try right up in the zone. But the 21 is a strong support and resistance depending on what side you're at. And we're not even able to break through that 8 yet. So right now, today, again, we're not breaking outside of yesterday's range to the higher or lower side. We're just kind of hanging out. We're hanging out to the bottom range, so it's still got a little bit of weakness in there. And you had some volume. If I was to play this one, I'd need this one to break 147.61. If it could break this candle, just because we had a little extra volume on that, that's what I'd be waiting for. Otherwise, I wouldn't personally touch this one until I could get some kind of a stronger signal in there in general. Gap fill on a firm for the daily. Let me see. Yeah, you're looking at this gap over here. That's what I'm saying though. I think, like, honestly, this one should have been the gap fill. This has to be the double bottom that holds up. But for me, I'm not we have Tony Pollock here. He's a dynamite trader on trying to catch things low. And I mean, he gets good risk reward, obviously. But for me, I need some kind of breakout on my side. I only really would be interested because we did get a little bit of volume there. That would signify to me like, okay, this double bottom might hold. So I would be looking at some kind of trade like it's probably not to the exact penny, but 140, let's say 148 as an entry with 126.13 as a swing trade, or on a intraday trade if we open up or gap up, especially if we could clear this on some kind of gap at like 163. I'll definitely play momentum on an intraday trade. But until that happens, I don't know. What do I think about NVIDIA? Let's see. We did talk about NVIDIA a little bit earlier today, but that was more on the AT&T side of things. I think that news will help AT&T. I don't think it's going to do too much for NVIDIA, to be honest. But AT&T does have a large subscription base. And if they're getting to try out NVIDIA, some of their products for free for a few few either 90 days or 6 months, whatever I read. I forget exactly the number, but it could expose some customers to NVIDIA products longer term. Maybe that's a good signal or a good sign in the longer term, but NVIDIA is massive, and I don't see the news playing the same way. Again, right now, intraday, we're seeing this across the board. So it's actually going to be, I haven't seen anything really that I like for intraday, like have to be in it out of the gate so far from everything we looked at. Right now, we're just kind of, and as soon as we looked at the SPY and Qs in the morning, we're kind of inside day range, very, very close to where we closed yesterday. So I'm not expecting too much open or excitement at the open. It's almost like the market's waiting for something. Today's Wednesday. I'm not sure. Jay Powell might be speaking today. We might get some Fed news today at 2:00. And we might be kind of just a little bit hesitant waiting for that to happen. But I believe he does speak today. I'm like, well, at least 25% sure. So we'll have to see. I'll have to check after I get off if that is true or not. But I know he is talking this week. So, and they usually do it on a Wednesday. NVIDIA, I still like NVIDIA in general. So I'll put it like that. Is this the exact time that I would like to buy NVIDIA? No. Like if I was looking for long term, I probably wouldn't. If I was looking for a swing trade, maybe. Day trade, definitely not today, or at least at open for sure. If I get some kind of setup I like in there. John said he's speaking, we're screwed. I don't know. Something it could go either way. Last time he spoke, the market just ripped any shorts faces off. So we'll see. This kind of has a little bit of a feel in a weird way of some kind of head and shoulders. Left shoulder, there's your head, there's the right shoulder. If we start breaking down, it's easy to want to believe that every company will go continuously to the moon without any severe pullbacks. I mean, even if we look at Apple, I believe it was 8 times in the history of Apple that they pulled back 20%. If NVIDIA gets more severe pullbacks, yes, I am definitely a buyer of NVIDIA. Longer term, I like it. Same thing with AMD actually as well. So AMD, I'm a fan of. I think I have some shares in of AMD in the long term for right now, but I'm not adding up here. I just can't. It just make me sick to my stomach if I if I do that. So I'm not going to be adding AMD here just because we're very close to all-time highs. The market is at all-time highs for like longer term type companies. I know you guys might not like this one. I don't really care. You know, I'm allowed to have my own belief system, but I like KHC up 2 days ago. I bought this one as this month's purchase just because, again, I needed to add a little bit more companies with the dividend to it for the drip for the long-term account, just to be in there. But yeah, this has a good potential move to it. I like how we kind of pull back. They have a good strong dividends. We're not at all-time highs. So for me, when I buy stuff for the long term, I prefer to see companies like this that have I think I got to go out further. There we go. So I prefer to see something like this, a company that I know what they do, who they are, that they've been around forever. I don't think they're actually going anywhere. But they have good solid dividends, and something like this I would like to add to my long term. NVIDIA I would like to have in the long term, but I just not at all-time highs. I got to wait for one of those dips or market pullbacks or something like that. How are the fills for stocks on TOS? That's the only I only use Thinkorswim to get filled. So, yeah, that's I don't have any issues. Sometimes I'll get skipped for. I mean, honestly speaking, sometimes I will get skipped on things, but I think that's with everything. It's just I tend to find it's more or less the stock that I'm trading as opposed to the broker. But yeah, I haven't had any personal issues. I'm a fan. If I didn't like them, I wouldn't trade them, type of thing. And let's just check out Tesla real quick. This month we are doing an orb breakout trade, just as a strategy in real life trading. By the way, if you guys are unfamiliar with real life trading, make sure you head to reallifetrading.com. If you're looking at some of these charts and two things happen, either one, they look like a brand new language to you and you're not quite sure what the volume means. You've only caught about 20% of what I was talking about. head to reallifetrading.com. We have free videos, free education you guys are able to check out. Seriously, I mean, there's no cost. Like, you could just click the button, you'll have your own dashboard, and you can start taking some of those courses today. So I do encourage anybody that is unfamiliar with the charts, or kind of how the trading works, or the system works, the R system, which is the risk unit that how we trade. By all means, I invite you, if you are looking at the charts and you are excited, and I mean, you want to be part of the community, you want to sign up, get the free education, reinforce the education you might already have. Again, check out reallifetrading.com. All of the information could be found there. Because I could go over charts all day and say, yeah, I like this or don't like this. You guys could mimic trades that I take. I mean, that's fine. We have live trading rooms. But honestly, then what happens when I get hit by a bus? I mean, then nobody can trade anymore. So learn to trade. learn why people, no matter who you see on the internet, is taking trades. Understand like what the thought process is behind it. And we have all of that broken down in those courses. And we also, if you do want to trade live with us too, we do have free week coming up January, I believe 24th. So you guys are able to register for the free week. You'll get information, be able to log in and check out all of that information. The ORB strategy is not for inside days. Am I right? You could trade however you want to. How we're doing it, it's an intraday trade, and it's just off. And we're only doing Teslas this week, or this month. So just because we back tested it, and Matt DeLong was the gentleman who did back test it and looked at the strategy, and it was profitable. I think there was 1 month where we lost like an R on it, but every other month that he had the back test on it, like, it was positive, a decent amount. So it's, no matter where it is, it's just on Tesla. It's on a 3-minute chart. And basically it's whichever way it breaks out. So you got to let that candle close. I'm going to flip it over to a 3-minute too, just so I can get ready to set it up. But whichever way that 3-minute closes, you're taking, let's say it breaks out bullish, the next candle from there, you're taking entry above it as your entry with a stop right below it, or vice versa. So you're putting an OCO, one cancels other type order into your broker. Obviously, be conscious of the risk unit. So know how many shares that you should be getting to appropriately handle your risk on any trade, whether it's this one or any other trades that you set up, which is why the R system is extremely important. But all right, we have 1 more minute. I'm going to close down YouTube. Once again, make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe button on YouTube. My name is DJ Dan. Good luck with the markets today. If you guys have any questions, you can also shoot me a message, dan@reallifetrading.com. You guys are incredible, and we will see you tomorrow on YouTube. For everybody else in the room, yeah, let's go. Let's rock, baby. Let's do it. Let's do it.